Alright guys, I'm going to do a quick overview of the new project. It is the K1500 Suburban with a 6.5 diesel and 480. So it is a 1500 instead of the 2500 because it has 342 gears instead of the 410s that you typically find in the 8-lug Suburbans. So this is an 8-lug 6.5. Obviously I didn't buy the hitch in it, but everything else is as I got it. It came with a cool roof rack. Obviously it's missing some paint up top. There's a lot of peeling and stuff. It needs a door, clearly. Someone was not too happy with it. It opens. I'll show you that in a second. The green, I like the green. I think I'd like it if it was fresh paint. I need to do this, but I kind of want to get the 2-inch cowl hood instead of this guy. I'm not sure how I feel about the two-tone quite yet. I almost wish it was all green, but if anyone has a door, green and silver door, I need a driver's door. You know, I'm willing to throw $100 your way, or roughly, for the door. Preferably less, especially if I have to drive a ways to go get it. But look at the front. It is a 6.5. It's got the bumper. Nice little holes there. Notice how it still has the plastic pieces in there to divert the air upwards into the cooling stack. Very cool. I just like it because it was in good enough shape, body-wise, where I was like, I need to go get this. And obviously this side is like mint. I'm going to pull off the bump strips all the way back later on down the road once I get it running again, because as you can see, it's just in a parking lot here at work. And fortunately I'm able to use this parking lot for right now while I disassemble the red one, put the parts on this green one, and then dump the red one, and then drive this one where it needs to be, which is clearly not sitting here at work. But the owner was nice enough to let me keep it here. Look at this. Even these little guards, the rubber guards, are still intact here. It's a North Carolina Suburban, so no rust. Really clean. I did drive this home. It does have two big issues with it. The door's one, and the transmission is the other one. Those are the, shall we say, big issues mechanically. The rest is all interior cosmetics. Paint, I mean, for $1,200 you gotta expect bad paint. But here's the interior. These are all my stuff. Should have taken a video before I put stuff in here, but whatever. The main issue with the interior, that it has a funky smell, probably due to the nasty carpet. As you can see, the carpet here has definitely seen better days. The back two seats are in good shape. The front ones I'm going to have to replace. I like it because it's gray. A lot of little trim pieces that I might need to get from somewhere else. But like this one is just missing a little flip cover. The little flip cover is gone from down here. That side has it. I mean, if I'm going to be really picky, I'd find one at a junkyard. But it's an SLT. The door does still open, obviously. It is smashed down there too. That will have to be fixed. I'll have to have a shop repair that, and I'll just find a new door. I'm hopefully hopefully I'll be able to find a new door sticker for my new door, because one shop wanted $1,000 to fix this this door as it is. I'm not sure if they can do it for $1,000 to fix both, and I was like, probably cheaper for me just to go out and find another door, to wait around and find another door that's the right color combo. However, it would be nice to keep my factory stickers. As you can see here, it is a well, according to this, 7900 GVR. According to this, 8050. This one has the VIN on it. This one does not. So I'm assuming this one should probably be sufficient. If I ever get pulled over and decide to have more than 8,000 pounds of it. Obviously the seat, I think partially the smell, there's a smell in here of like water, not really water, it's just like mold. I don't think it's from the up here. I think it's mainly from the carpet, to be honest, but I'm gonna do the headliner anyway, and once the headliner's out, I'll know if I need to replace the seals on the windows. On my red truck over there, I was leaking in right around here, and it would get my headliner wet every time it rained. Clearly, if I'm looking right here, it doesn't look like that's a problem on this one, but I just like it because it's the same interior color as my other truck. I can use that. I got spare gauges that I'm not going to use these because they are Isopro, so it's a good brand, but my other one's already set up, and I'm probably going to tear these apart here once I start doing the turbo and whatnot. But I got a good console from that truck. The only thing I don't like is that it's electronic four-wheel drive. It's good, bad, whatever. I think it's mostly bad, but it's went in a lot of vehicles, so parts can't be too hard to find. And then but yeah, so aside from the door, it basically needs a door, carpet, headliner, and the front two seats. And then I have a really nice Suburban. And mechanically, it needs a transmission. What I'm going to do is good enough to drive home. The issue with the transmission is that it leaks. As you can see just from sitting here. Look at all that. That is tranny fluid. And that's probably why the transmission went bad. There's probably a leak in the pan gasket or something. And the guy didn't notice because he lived off in the middle of the woods. And he probably wouldn't have seen a leak because it was going right down to the dirt. And then he just drove it too far with no fluid and messed it up. Because I put some fluid in on the way home. It didn't do anything. So that kind of sucked. But I do like this big running board. It looks kind of, I feel like it looks kind of off-road adventure-y. It fits the roof rack really good. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. I need to do both front doors, the pins, but once I pull this off down here, these things, it's going to start to look really nice. It did have Z71 stickers. I'm not sure if you can see them, but I don't know any Suburban that was a Z71 in this era Suburban, and I pulled them off already. Mostly also because I could always put them back on, but the one on this side was halfway off, so even if I wanted to keep them, it would have looked really bad because one side was gone. So this is the new project. Let's pop a look under the hood real quick. I like the front's good. I like that it's a clean title. I like that I kind of like the color green. I'm glad it's not white or black. I like that it's the color. I like that it's a gray interior. I like that it seats 8. It has a 3rd row. I like that it's 8 lug. Gives me a little bit more, some good wheel choices. And then I like the whatever these are called. Forgot what they're called. Slipping my mind. But this is it. Oh, one thing I like about this is I really like, and one reason I probably wouldn't have gone out to get it if it wasn't a tailgate rear. I think that's the coolest thing ever on an SUV, having a tailgate. That's one thing I have to replace. Weather strip number 1, weather strip number 2. Definitely going to have to replace both of those. Basically all the weather strips on here I'm going to replace. But I've already got some tools loaded up back here. I'm doing some it's just even though it's a burb, it still has your standard shall we say issues with opening up a GMT4 tailgate. But that's it. So it's got a little bit of space. I'm going to ditch the tire eventually and hopefully get one of those swing out tire racks and probably put a small, and I'm talking small just so I can bring it up to like 2010 standards, a amp and a sub right there probably. I gotta pull up the carpet anyway, so that's gonna be the time to do it. And then yeah, as you can see, these seals are super hard, dirty where they lived. However, all the plastic's in decent shape. Probably should get this redone, upholstered, or at least re-glue it, because I don't mind a couple scratches on this. It's going to happen because it's a tailgate. I've already got lights. I need to repaint these, but like, I drove this 275 miles home, guys. What I had to do when I got there, it was a real, shall we say, roadkill type thing. The guy told me it wouldn't start, and my buddy and I drove out there with a PMD, a starter, and a glow plug controller, and we got it started. All we did, we added the glow plug controller and we added the PMD, and it fired up, and I drove it home. It definitely has a transmission issue because it sometimes, when it's in gear, you press the brake a funky way, it almost kills itself. So I think there might be something wrong with the brakes. I know the brakes are soft. There is a leak in the rear, probably one of those wheel cylinders. I found since this is an 8 lug, it's a little bit easier to find parts for this 14 bolt than for the 6 lug 14 bolt on that truck. That truck's a little bit tougher to find cool aftermarket parts because not a whole lot of them were out there compared to the 8 lug. But as you see, it's a nice big 14 lug or 14 bolt rear end. Clearly pretty dirty because, like I said, they gotta live down in the woods. 342 gearing, so it should drive. When I was driving home on the highway at 70, it was at like 1900 RPM. I mean, the gearing's almost too low for a 6.5. Maybe at some point I'll change it to like a 3, maybe a 373. Might give me a little bit more towing power, but I don't really plan to tow with this. I have my Duramax over there if I need to really tow something. And eventually I'm going to sell that Duramax and get a 6.5 crew cab, I think, truck, probably a 1-ton single rear wheel. That'll be my towing machine. Basically what I'm trying to say, this is going to be like the family machine, road tripper, whatever, overall cool SUV, but not so much for towing, especially with its current 342 gears. But I already swapped on my nice wiper blades. Look at how minty fresh those are. I bought those from the dealership, unfortunately, because they were kind of expensive, but they look great. And apparently if you go to AutoZone or Advanced or wherever I went, they'll give you ones for that side, 2 of them, and apparently this driver's side has a different part number than the passenger side. As you can see, this one from the dealership is actually holding up to the weather much better than that one. That one's quite faded, and this one is still fairly black. So I mean, you get what you pay for, I suppose. That dealership one was kind of expensive for just a wiper arm, but it looks to be holding up better here in the Georgia sun. But let's pop the hood real quick. Under the hood is stock. No surprise there, based on what I see with the rest of this Suburban. So I had to put in do some fancy. Oh, that's one breakdown we had on the way home. We had a real roadkill experience. We left at 10:30 o'clock at night, and we got back at about 7 a.m. from 4.5 hour drive it was supposed to be, and it ended up being what, 10:30 to 7. So, and it was because we broke on the side of the road, and this battery terminal was giving us some problems. We eventually ended up cutting off the 2 snips, went to Walmart, found a makeshift thinger, and we made it work enough to get back home. I've got a good set of battery cables in the other truck that I'm going to put in here. Look at this turbo. It looks in great shape. He's got a Turbo Master on it, welded on, as you can see right there. So that'll be sold. The only thing that's kind of in the way, or not as it should be, under the hood is the heater core has been disconnected, and as you can see here, instead of routing back to where it's supposed to, it is routed all the way back to the front. It's basically bypassed the heater core right now. So the engine to the goes from the engine back to the radiator. The good news is I have a T-valve that I should be able to just put back in and make that good to go. I probably won't do that until dang. The only thing I don't like is, unfortunately on the Suburbans, because they have rear air, it gives you 2 lines. It's just more things going around in the way. Kind of sucks. But if the rear air doesn't work right now, clearly there is a, what? Looks like we got, I just noticed that on the AC valve, looks like we got something that is not connected. So I'll have to figure out what that is and where that's going, and definitely get a different one, because I gotta have AC in Georgia. Y'all don't know, but man, one thing I like about this compared to that truck when I got it, this thing is so not modified. I mean, it still even has the 6-blade fan. I have a bunch of new parts that I have not put on that truck yet, so they're gonna go straight on here. The beautiful thing is that's a 96. This is a 96. All these parts are gonna be like right on the money, and it's gonna be great. So I may make some videos as I transfer parts, so stay tuned for that. I'm probably going to start on a couple of lights and other things today. I'm really torn. Should I keep the GMC front, or should I go with the billet grill on this one? After looking at them, I might stay with the GMC actually. I don't know what you guys think. That's an interesting one. We'll see what I want to do with that. But yeah, that's the 6.5 Burb. It's kind of my tool holder right now, and as it's gonna have some major work done here in this parking lot, mainly being transmission from that truck, turbo from that truck, exhaust from that truck, all gonna be swapped in here, and then mirrors, lights. If I'm really feeling adventurous, these 2 little stubby things. But for the most part, this one just needs cleaned up. Needs some carpet. Needs a carpet, door, and a transmission, and 2 front seats. And then this one will be ready to go. And so thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned if you want to see this built, or this Suburban get built. Won't get built like crazy. It'll just be some standard mods that you see from my previous videos. I'm gonna be swapping over most of the things I did, and then hopefully money dependent, we might get a very small lift kit, maybe like a 4-inch, and maybe also money dependent, we'll get a new motor and a built trans. I know a built 4L80 ain't much compared to a built Allison or something, but I mean it's still more than just swapping over that transmission. So it ain't gonna happen right now, and then we will be good. But thanks for checking everything out. Stay tuned, like I said, and have a good one.